hey, it's Colonel K. Good day. Oh, good evening, actually. Listen, I wanted to just do a short, quick video on making brake line ends. What we call a double flare. Good old Harbor Freight double flaring toolkit. You know, one thing about Harbor Freight, yeah, some of their stuff is pretty chintzy and cheap. But if a tool breaks, they take it back, no questions asked, and give you another one. And even electrical tools. So, up to a certain time frame. Anyway, this is not a badly made tool. I'm sure it's Chinese made. We have a yoke, we have a bar, we've got a flare tip, and we have adapters. This thing is marked basically based on the size of your tubing. We're using 1/4 inch, and this is the way you set this thing up. Get your 1/4 inch adapter here. When you set your tube into your flaring bar, it should equal the height of your adapter. All you do is install your adapter, long leg down, give it a little squirt of oil. Then we're going to go ahead and apply our yoke and our flare tool. A little pressure on here, get this thing ready to go. Alright, so here's what it should look like when you're set up. Your yoke's locked into your flare bar. Everything's tightened up as far as your flare bar goes. You put your adapter in, and you've got your flare tool, the flare tip, into your adapter. And just go ahead and start cranking her down. I use copper nickel line. You know what? It's pretty malleable. It certainly meets the standards for something like I'm doing. Now you want to crank that down until she's flush, and go ahead and back your yoke off. Oh, there we go. Remove your insert. And this is basically what it looks like. It's not finished yet, but you've already got your flare started. Now we're going to go ahead and reinsert our flare tool. We're going to go ahead and punch our hole down, make it that nice finished double flare look. So get your flare tool set up, yoke, flare bar, the flare tool itself, you've got it lined up with your hole. Go ahead and ram her home, twist it down until it seats and basically stops turning. Oh man, friggin' Eagles. Who doesn't love the Eagles? It's un-American not to love the Eagles, guys. This is what you end up with. That's a double flare. You got a flare going in and you got a flare going out. That's a double flare. That's a double flare, and it's going to fit nicely up against there. It doesn't fit inside the... does here. But on this tip, fits on the outside. Basically that pushes in. This is soft. That's what I love about it. It'll form. This is a steel line. When you get that on there, you go ahead and tighten it into your fitting. It'll form up into your fitting, and it'll crank right down. So that's basically what you do. A couple of the tools you're going to want. Yep, a little Husky, Home Depot line cutter basically, and this adjusts out quite a bit, so you can go to a pretty big line on here. I have, let's see, I have on my track, I have a 1/4 inch, and then I have 5/16, so the 2 lines. And I've got to make some new lines. I just ordered some more lines from Summit because I did not have enough to go around. There's your 5/16. 3/8, 1/4 inch, 3/16. Get your right size. The other thing is I have this is basically a tool designed to bend. So how does that work, Mark? Well, it's pretty simple. Depending on what you want, it's actually marked 45, 90, 135, and 180 degrees. You slide this in depending on what you got going here. We have a 1/4 inch here, and I'm just gonna, you basically apply it, gentle bend, and that was bent up, now we're bending down. Depending on where you want to go. And you can bend it the other way. Gonna have to maneuver a little bit, fit in there. Also, one thing about the line I get is actually the copper nickel, you can bend it by hand. Now that was bent. So we bent it one way and stuck it in and you straighten out the other way. It doesn't kink. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't kink your line. Now I'm not going to use this line, obviously. It's going to be replaced. But if you want to get a nice flare, double flare tip, this is what you want. Something like this. Pretty simple to use, rather inexpensive. I don't remember where I got this tool. I've had it for a long time, and I think I probably got it at Sears, but you can go online and there's different types of tube bending tools. Just depends what your preference is. This one works well. It's double articulated, so I can feed my material in there. This does 3 sizes, up to 3/4, correction, up to 3/8. So it does 1/4 inch. It does its good old 5/16, and then it does 3/8. So those are the 3 types of lines that'll bend for you. There's some brake lines for the rear end. This one actually fits up over the differential. Plugs in, hits a bracket, and then shoots up to the slave cylinder on the passenger side. This is the one for the driver's side. So you'll see how that fits in there, fits on the outside here. And when you crush that in, being that it's soft, it'll go ahead and seat right into your fittings. So basically that's this line here. It's a little bit different shape, but not significant, and for where it's going and what it does, it'll work. Then again, if I need to get down in there, it's nice and soft and I can manipulate it a little bit. So, good stuff. Okay, quick tutorial on tube bending. When I get an opportunity tomorrow, I'll go ahead and start on my hood and get my radiator out or up. I don't want to take it completely out of the track, but for all intents and purposes, all the work I'm doing, I probably could. I just need to get it up enough to get in and get all the brackets for the new wiring harness and for the front brake line, which is again is 1/4 inch, and definitely needs to be replaced. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.